dividing a decimal by a decimal. So our example is going to be 3.25 divided by 0.5, or 3 and 25 hundredths divided by 5 tenths. And there are some particular steps we want to make sure we follow when we divide decimals to make problem solving accurately. And the first thing I'm going to do is write this down as like we're solving some division here. So I'm going to have 3.25 divided by 0.5. First step is rule 1. Move the decimal point in the divisor to the end of the number. You want to make sure you write these down. So all the way to the right. So I have a decimal point in the divisor. I need to move it all the way over to the right. Only one place, but I get it to the end. Now, rule 2 is move the decimal point in the dividend the same number of places to the right that you move the divisor. So I moved it 1 there, and now I'm going to move it 1 here. I'm also going to bring it straight up. So now it says divide to get your answer. So we basically turned what was 3 and 25 hundredths divided by 5 tenths into 32.5 divided by 5. So let's divide this thing out. 5 goes into 3, 0 times. 5 times 0 is 0. Subtract here. I get 3, bring down a 2. 5 goes into 32 6 times. 5 times 6 is 30. When you subtract, you get 2 here, 0 there. You can bring down the 5. Try to write neatly if you can and keep your numbers lined up. And then 5 goes evenly into 25 5 times. So 5 times 5 is 25, and that cancels out. And your final answer should be 6.5. So if I do this accurately, 6 and 5 tenths, putting your decimal in the right place is very important here. Division, a lot of us are very familiar with, but that division, that place value with the decimal point is going to make or break your answer. Try this example here. 25 divided by 0.05. So now I've got a whole number, 25, divided by a decimal. So I set it up the same way, 0.05. Now if we remember all of our steps, first step, move the decimal point in the divisor to the end. Okay, well, this time to move it to the end, I have to go 1, 2 places. So the question here is, where's my decimal in this whole number? Well, 25 means basically I have 25.0. So if I move it 2 places, I have to go 1, 2 right here, decimal up, and you can fill a 0 in your empty space. So I basically turn this into 2,500 divided by 5. So now it says, oh, we did move our decimal point in the dividend the same number of places. Now we need to divide to get our answer. So 5 goes into 2 0 times. I get 0 here. I subtract and get 2, and then I get 5. 5 goes into 25 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. I get 0 and 0, and then this is going to be a matter of filling in zeros. 5 goes into 0 0 times. I get 0. Bring down another 0. These can be zeros too. Goes in, and the answer is going to be 500. So how many times does 0.05 or 500 go into 25? Goes in 500 times, making sure we moved our decimal point the right number of places. All right, you try this one on your own. This is 11 and 52 hundredths divided by 0.72 or 72 hundredths. Remember to move your decimal point over 2 places in each spot. Divide it. See if you get the answer right. Pause the video real quick, solve it, and then unpause it. Alright, so if you move them over, that's 2 places here. So I move 1, 2. And that means I need to go 2 places here. So 2 places over and bring it up. And it's time to divide. Now dividing 72 can be a little tricky, but I think we got this. 72 goes not into 1, so I'll get 1 here, and 11. It also does not go into 11, so 0, 0. Going to get 1, 1. It does go into 115, but only goes in 1 time. So I'll get 72, and I need to do 115 minus 72, and I believe it is 43. I get 3 here, borrow the 1, I get a 4, and then finally I need to bring down a 2. So I have 432 and divided by 72. Some long division here, but if you do it out all the way, I solved it a little earlier, it goes in, I believe, evenly 6 times. 72 times 6 is 432. It's even, so when we divide, we would say that the answer is 16. 0.72 goes in 11.52. 16 total times, making sure we moved our decimal the correct amount of spaces.